I was seeing a patient every 7 minutes. In the U.S., our healthcare system is broke, and it says doctors come and they try to fix it. We try to do the best job we can, but it wasn't that I didn't love medicine. I came from a family of doctors. My father was a pediatrician. My uncle was a thoracic surgeon. My cousin was a dermatologist. So pretty much ever since I was born, I was going to become a doctor. But I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. I'm a pretty laid-back guy, if you get to know me, very, very casual. But I was finding that I was turning into somebody else, and I was turning into this guy. Does anybody know who that is? Who is that? House. Anybody watch that show, House? Yeah. How many people want them as his doctor? Nobody? Oh, that's good. That's a good audience. Well, I was turning into him, and I was turning into somebody that I wasn't. And I have two small children. One is 11 now, one is 9. But at the time, very, very young, one is autistic. And I was spending more and more time away from my family. And I said, I love medicine, but it's killing me. And I'm basically, working myself to the bone. Does this story I know some of you may or may not be doctors, but does this story kind of resonate? Kind of working for a paycheck and not really going where you want to be? That's what it was for me. Although as a doctor I was getting paid well, I was spending more and more time away from my family. And that's something that I want to focus on is you can either work for wages or you can work for yourself. You can work for wages, you can work for yourself. And the reason why I became an entrepreneur is I wanted to work for myself, and I wanted to make profits instead of wages. And that's what the internet lifestyle has allowed me to do, and I'd like to share that with you. What happened and how I got started is I went to a seminar very similar to this. I went to a seminar on wealth building, internet marketing. I went to one of the speakers. I got together with one of the speakers, got their package. I got their system that they used, and I basically followed it to a T. And I never like hearing the phrase, I don't have time to do it, because you either make time, if it's this important to you, you have to make the time to do it. Now, as I told you, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week in the clinic, in the hospital. Sometimes I would spend 24 hours or more in the hospital. But I wanted it so bad, I sacrificed the time to do it. I would wake up at 5 in the morning, 5 a.m., and I worked on my internet business. From 5 a.m. to about 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m., I had to go to work. And then I could be in the hospital from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then at night, I'd spend time with my family, and I'd do the whole thing over again. And what I did was I got started with selling information products. I sold information products, e-books, as you will. They were digital products. And I got my first e-book created. The first e-book, I could focus on any topic that I wanted, but one of the topics that I focused on, because it's something that I knew and that my patients needed, was how to save money on medications, how to save money on prescription drugs. And it was certainly a topic that I knew, and something, information that I shared as a doctor. And I wrote the book. And I actually am a pretty good writer, but I don't know if anybody wants to be a professional writer, but for every professional writer, I can also show you a starving writer. It took me about 5 months to actually write the book, and easy to admit this, but if it wasn't without pictures, I don't think I could have made 50 pages in that book. And the ebook that I sold for about $19 US. Did anybody want to gather how much that ebook made in the first month? Anybody want to take a guess? $19 ebook? $20,000? $20? I'm a prestigious medical doctor. I was trained at the Mayo Clinic. Zero? Come on. 2 million? Oh, I like you. I made $100 US in the first month. $100 US. How many people would think that's a failure? How many people think that's a success? You know what? Even though I was probably making $100 an hour as a doctor, that was life-changing. You know why it was life-changing? Is because I could know I could do it again. and I could write a better ebook, or I could write a different book in a different market. I made that $100 while I was sleeping. I made that $100 while I was sleeping. And that $100 changed my life, because the next ebook I wrote made $4,000 US. The third ebook I wrote made $500 US a month. Did I say that that's stopping me because I made less? No, I kept going. One of them broke even, actually lost money. Did I say that was a failure? No. For every failure, you get closer to your success. After about the first year, I had 25 ebooks created. I made enough money to actually supplant the job I made as a physician. Okay? So hopefully you guys took a lesson from that. You took a lesson from that. It's only thing that's holding you back is yourself. The only thing is you're holding back is yourself. And I didn't have any specialized training on this. I'm not a tech. When you leave this seminar, realize the only thing that's really holding you back is yourself. I'm going to add to that too, is I have a very supportive wife to allow me to do this. Because as a doctor, if you imagine, my dad is a doctor, my mother is a nurse, and then, do you know what? I would love to fill you in the story when I told my wife that I was going to quit my job as a doctor. Okay? We live in Southern California. We have a nice house, car, nice car. She saw the money coming in as the internet. Oh, that's really interesting. But she's a doctor's wife. You know what a doctor, honey, I want to stop doing this so I can play on the computer. She responded with a phrase I will always remember. You want to do what? Now, I would have told you what my mother told me. My mother, who has brought up her eldest son to be this doctor, I would like to tell her, but I was chicken, and I waited for about 6 months, actually after I did retire, and I would tell you what she told me, but she's a Chinese mother, and I don't think I could adequately translate it in English, but it's a lot of words that I heard at that bar last night. Don't know if you were there, but it's in a different language, so. Okay, how many people have heard of pay-per-click? Pay-per-click? Google advertising? Okay. Pay-per-click is when you go onto Google and you want to advertise for your service. Let's say we have a dog book, okay? So let's say one of my books is on Pomeranians, okay? And if you look on Google and you put in the keyword Pomeranians, you'll see there's a left side of Google and the right side of Google. And I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit basic. I know there's some advanced folks, but I think for everybody to better understand my presentation, I'm going to have to do a little bit of technical stuff. The left side of Google is known as the organic side, which are free listings that come up in the search engines on Google. On the right side are advertising, right? You've all seen it. Sometimes it can be at the top and to the right. So you can advertise. And one of the ways you can advertise is known as pay-per-click advertising. That means you can buy an ad on these certain keywords like Pomeranians, and then your advertisement would go up to your ebook that's selling on a website. Okay? This illustration shows that as long as you know a little bit about the internet, you know about 95% of what the general public is. This is an ad looking for a person experienced in pay-per-clicks. P-A-P-E-R. Okay? It's not pay-per-clicks. He's looking for somebody, I don't know, to advertise on a paper. But basically what the story is that as long as you know a little bit about somebody else, you at least know more than this guy does, okay? Because he wants pay-per-clicks. So what is the state of internet lead generation today? Do you know 63% of businesses have a website? 63% have a website. Most people have no clue how to drive traffic or generate prospects or customers for it. And by going to this